Well, hi there and good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. My name is Rob Kaiser and I am your host. Today is Tuesday, August 30th, 2022, and this is episode number 411 of a show that provides insight and tools to build the life and homestead of our dreams. Today's show topic is consistency, and we're going to look at it through the lens of building wealth, but then we'll see how that applies to other aspects of life. So without further ado, let's get into it. The content that provides fodder for discussion today comes from Financial Peace University, specifically Lesson 7, which is the lesson on building wealth. Now, the reality is, at this point in our lives, depending on where we are, whether we're in the program or not, most of us aren't ready to start investing yet. Even though we are investing yet, we may not be ready to start investing. And the reality is, like I said, I'm speaking through the lens of Financial Peace University, and if you are following the baby steps and you're trying to pay off debt and or build up your emergency fund in baby step 3, which is 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a fluid, accessible account like a money market account, then what you want to do is stop investing. Stop putting money into your 401k. Stop investing in your Roth. Stop doing whatever it is that you're doing in terms of investing, and allocate all of those funds to your debt or to your savings. And then once we have hit the point where we have our emergency fund fully funded, we are investing 15% of our income into wealth building avenues that we will look into in just a moment. But the idea with investing, the idea with any of this, is consistency. In the reason this is on my mind is I coordinated a video last night, or I'm coordinating a course rather, and like I said, it was lesson 7, and Dave Ramsey shared a story about the tortoise and the hare. And the moral of the story is slow and steady wins the race. Consistency over time helps us develop and build success. With regard to Financial Peace University, the key points of this lesson 7 are following the baby steps and investing 15% of your income over time will allow you to become a baby steps millionaire. Now, you can lower your risk by diversifying your investments across 4 types of mutual funds. And the third key point is to keep it simple and never invest in things you don't understand. Now, there are many other types of investments beyond 4 types of mutual funds, but ultimately, I believe keeping it simple and never investing in things you don't understand is a good principle. And I also believe that following the baby steps and investing 15% of your income over time, becoming a baby steps millionaire, is possible. I say baby steps millionaire because I'm not really interested in becoming a millionaire in any other way except through the implementation of the baby steps. And as I continue to coordinate these courses, I continue to communicate to people that, yeah, this may not be the best way out there, but until I find something superior, this is the plan I'm following. This is the plan that's worked for me. And that's all I got. And that's why I coordinate the courses. Right? So we're not going to talk so much about the ins and outs and the details of building wealth, because I'm not quite there yet. I'm still at a point where I am building my emergency fund because, well, I have dipped into that to pay off some last medical expenses from this whole functional medicine process that I went through last year. And also, I am having to utilize some of that when my income is as irregular as it is right now to live. But luckily, I have not had to dip into that as much as I was expecting. And that pleases me. Now, we've got some quotes in here from the lesson material, and I'll go ahead and share those with you now because I think some of these quotes, well, they're relevant to building wealth, not only financially, but building wealth in life, which is far more than that which can be fulfilled financially. So from Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2, we read, "Give portions to 7, yes, to 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land." Diversification. If we have all our eggs in one basket, we set ourselves up for failure. And ultimately, guys, we're never doing things we don't understand. We're never doing anything we don't understand. Not just simply investing, but I will say, however, if you are going to do something you don't understand, make sure you understand why you're doing the thing that you don't understand. From Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4, we read, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." Consistency. Consistency. Nothing good comes from stagnation. Well, that's it, guys. I'm going to keep this episode today brief and call it quits. You'll notice that there was some different intro music. There's not going to be any outro music today. I was feeling a little bit frustrated because, well, it's the end of August. We're going into September. It's busy. It's busy. We are ramping up production. We're going to launch the online store here in a few weeks. I'm hopeful that it's going to be successful, but it could just be a giant flop. So to counter that, we decided that we're going to do a secondary market up in the Cleveland area, in the Tremont neighborhood. And that would be a good thing to do to close out the season. We'll do 3 markets there for 3 weeks. So there's a lot of prep work going on. And I know a lot of you guys out there are busy too. And so sometimes things don't really work out the way that we want them to, especially when we are busy, right? And things happen at the wrong times. Well, I've been talking about this whole resetting of my phone for months and months. And finally, it just reached a point where I've got to take care of this. And I'm going to do this morning to the best of my ability. Dad's out right now picking up more cabbage. So I got to be prepared for when he gets back so we can get to unloading and get to unloading and get to getting to work. It's on. It's the season right now. So, but that doesn't mean that we can let our current obligations slide. And while this And this to me, this is an obligation. I don't want to take this for granted. I don't want to take what we've all built for granted. So sometimes that means showing up. And even if you don't really know what to do and you don't have the time and aren't really satisfied with what you've put together to make it all happen, show up. Because to others that are around you, when they see you showing up consistently, even when it sucks, even when you fail, but when they see you show up, that's inspiring, because it means you're not giving up and you're not giving in and you're not going to let whatever, you follow me. And so that's why the topic of today's show is what it is. It's not simply consistency when it comes to building wealth, but it's consistency when it comes to everything else. And maybe it is just simply consistency when it comes to building wealth, because wealth consists of far more than financial gain. We've got wealth that applies to all aspects of life. Financial, physical, personal development, our families, our spiritual lives, our social lives, and our careers. We can be wealthy in all aspects of life. And if you want a solid tool that will help you figure out how to do that, one easy way and one free way is through the goal setting workbook, which I'll link to in the show notes as well. And one other thing that I'll just mention briefly and not talk about too much is the 48 Days Eagles community. And there's something coming up about a week from now for a few days that will provide anybody and everybody the ability to check out the Eagles community and see what it's all about and get a sneak peek. So I will link to that in the show notes as well, along with, I'll just make sure to link to that for the next week until we get to that date, September 6th. So guys, just like any other time, be sure to check out the show notes for things that were discussed in today's episode and more. And I look forward to catching you tomorrow, which will be Wednesday the 31st, the last day of August. And then on Thursday, we will cover the York Meadow Farm newsletter. So that's also in the mix right now, trying to get that completed as well. So month end, beginning of the month is always usually busy. Not to mention the fact that we're trying to figure out a time to go break down a free high tunnel that I was able to secure from somebody who I've had the opportunity to do some side work with. So that's exciting too. A lot going on, guys. Stay tuned in the Telegram chat, t.me/allaroundgrowth, or on social media, Float, Facebook, MeWe. I'm going to try to make a concerted effort to get back on some of these platforms, at least sharing content, and maybe be more active on Facebook as well, since that's where I think a lot of people, reachable audience is. Despite opinions on the platform, I think I'm going to use it in order to grow the audience as I continue to learn how to grow and change and evolve this show, just as I'm continuing to grow, change, and evolve my life. So if you like what you hear, stick around. There's going to be more of the same as time goes on. And again, check out the show notes to links for everything, all past episodes and more. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.